Hey everyone, welcome back to Legends of Podcasting. I'm Stuart.
I'm Ross.
I'm Rob.
And we're here to talk about Batman. Fuck no, we're not. We're here to do a
David, you got the memo.
Yeah. You're wearing Batman t-shirt as well. Just like, what the hell?
shit. No, we're here to do a spoiler talk on XMen: The Dark Phoenix, which we got to see last week in IMAX. So a lot of people are doing reviews of this. It's got a lot of hate out there from all the reviews and stuff I've seen.
Well, a lot of critical hate, but a lot of fan love.
Yeah,
it's
interesting. So we're going to just do a quick, no real structure to this at all.
Yeah.
We're just going to chat about it for about, I don't know, as long as it takes. And hope you guys enjoy it. So, first thing, we all grew up on these X-Men.
Well, the 92.
The 92
For those of you
cartoon.
listening in our podcast format,
We
have a small collection of X-Men figures on the table.
Yes, So that's So the 92 X-Men cartoon is my first introduction to X-Men.
Yes.
And I think everyone's, and it was an awesome show.
Oh yeah.
And then all the movies came out.
I think just 2000, so it would have been too far the first one around that time. So they've got a lot of people on board with the characters.
Yeah, well, that's all the first. I mean, you can talk about Blade and stuff.
The
like
first
that,
generation of superhero films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's been going on for 20 years. So like 9 to 10 years more than the MCU. But yeah, so this film. First initial thoughts about it. Did you like it? Dislike it? Hate it?
It was good. It just wasn't what it could have been.
I concur with that statement. I enjoyed it. I walked out the film.
I'd say I enjoyed it rather than it's good, because we'll talk about it in a bit. There's one. It was pretty average throughout, and there was a bit in a trailer we'll talk about as well that really knocked me off. But then the train scene is just one of the best cinematically shot bits I've seen of superhero powers on screen.
Yeah.
But we'll cover that in a bit.
Yeah, Russ, you've got lots of massive X-Men statues behind us.
I don't know how I feel about it. I love the action and I love the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I
Hans Zimmer.
Yeah,
I realised it was Hans Zimmer.
did a great job with that.
But I feel like for me, when I don't normally notice soundtracks in a movie because I feel like it's working with the screen and it just works, so I don't notice it. When I notice it, it's normally because I'm not interested in what's going on the screen, and I'm like, oh, it sounds awesome, but that's not what I'm visually seeing on the screen, and that's what I felt quite a lot from it. I feel like I said, the action was good, soundtrack was good. I thought the story was just meh. It could have been so much better. Like the bad guys,
they should have been the Shield.
Why do I care about them?
Yeah, they've just been nameless alien.
You get told that they come in, their world got destroyed
by the Phoenix Force.
They want to take this and control it.
They didn't call it the Phoenix Force, they called it the entity.
But why would we don't know how she thinks she can control it? It's the most powerful force in the universe. Well, I can control it. Why don't you tell us? That was.
Yeah, there's definitely needed to be another 20 minutes of just explaining who the fuck these people are and why they think they can do it. I get that. I totally agree with that. I came out of the film happy. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I think the ending was a bit weird, but we'll talk about it in a minute. But for me, I'm a massive Cyclops fan, and I've been a Cyclops fan since this show. Since the 92 cartoon.
So you must have loved Last Stand.
I remember him going mental when he came out of the cinema.
that is one of the few films I've ever thought about walking out of.
Well, you got Ghost Rider Vengeance is pretty close.
That was. I think I did walk out of that one.
Rip on the early Marvel movies.
The second Ghost Rider, I think I actually walked out of because it was just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Last Stand was just after the greatness that was X2, and it was such a build up. There was X3 is gonna be amazing. The trailer looked amazing because they showed Sentinels, and it was all just a fucking danger room scenario.
Literally, the first 2 minutes is the best part. Of that
yeah.
movie.
And then they fucking just kill off Cyclops. And the thing that beats this Dark Phoenix film over X3 in a big way is that they have Jean and Cyclops
in a relationship.
Yeah, Scott in a relationship,
and he's the leader.
Yeah, he's pretty much Xavier's sort of still the kind of leader, but he.
No, out on the field.
Yeah,
he's the one. And then when he comes back,
Mystique's sort of the leader.
Yeah,
when they do it. He's still
she's dead.
Spoilers.
I was going to say you're already in spoiler talk.
Yeah, but no, she's
One of these is going over in a minute.
Stop moving the fucking table.
But all the kids, he was the one that explained to them and they wanted.
But he was the one that believed in Jean. Everyone else gave up on her. He believed in her, and the thing I think that's missing is there's a film missing between Apocalypse and this movie. There should have been another one.
Yeah,
I know they can't because the MCU's bought it, but they sort of went from Apocalypse where they just become a team. Not even at the end, you got them all in the danger room. You're now X-Men. We're going to train. To this film where they apparently have been a team for 6 to 10 years. I can't remember when Apocalypse was set, but a good 6 to 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. So 10 years they've been going out on missions and doing this shit. and we're just meant to assume that everything's happened. We assume that Jean and Cyclops are in a
that's
relationship.
another thing that was it's something we can talk about. I don't know if you want to go about it now.
But the plus side, just quickly, on that Cyclops is fucking awesome. The fact he was like using his powers awesomely, he's been a badass. The fact they've got a function in the X-Jet, the Blackbird.
Oh yeah.
That he just for his power.
Yeah.
Oh, just that was great. He goes, Scott, let's sort this out. He just goes down. He just puts his face the visor in that thing, and he wore the visor for the whole time as well. Instead of changing the glasses, I quite liked as well.
Because that's something I picked up after we watched the film. I went on, I was on the other think about things. In Apocalypse, half the world got totaled, and the mutants were the cause.
Totaled?
Yeah, they destroyed Egypt. You remember in Apocalypse?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
And the Magneto destroyed Auschwitz, and there's also all this other stuff they were doing to terraform the planet and to Apocalypse's thing.
Yeah.
And mutants are obviously the cause of that. Now, obviously, the X-Men, when Charles did his telekinetic thing around the world, basically said, the X-Men are here to help and resist. Yeah. So the mutants got a good rep when they've just been feared all this time.
Yes.
And you see that at the start of the film when he's got direct onto the president, and they're calling him to help.
X-Phone.
Yeah. But then funny. You don't see anything else as a result of that.
Yeah.
There's no world building around why, this fearless mutant came out and wrecked half the planet, and we just see, no, everything's back to where it was. No consequences. Although obviously it looks like later on in the film, after Jean goes a bit spacker, they instantly cancel their friendship with Professor Xavier and still have all the anti-mutant technology that's obviously still been building. So I'd love to have seen more of that. That the government was pretending to be nice with the guys that can help them, but they're also secretly... Yeah, but there's no world building for that, which I think is again factors into the fact they should have another film. Yeah. They needed another film to help tell this arc. It would also have been
better, like you said, you got the first one builds them, second one you see them, saving the world, everyone loving them, and then when the third film you break it down.
At the end could have been the beginning of Phoenix, where she takes the power. Could have been the end, and she comes out and she's like, I'm fine, and then it starts off the next film, and she slowly is good, but then starts turning evil. Because again, the whole Going to specifics, but the thing that I would have changed in the film is one, spoilers, not kill her off at the end, but two,
is she dead?
I mean, well, you see the thing in it, but they say this is this entity, but in Apocalypse she used that Phoenix force. Then I would have liked that the evil woman, I don't know what her name was, can't remember what her name was.
She was that memorable.
Sucked the entity out of her, thinking she's the most powerful thing in the world. Then at the end, she's fighting Jean, and the Phoenix Force comes out of Jean, and it's actually I'm more powerful than you. They have a fight that way. Would have been cooler because they it's sort of like the
I felt like
director had never watched Apocalypse and be like, but that doesn't exist.
That's what I felt like they did. They kind of did a soft reset that never happened.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like it.
But it kind of has to because, like you say, obviously they don't mention anything to do with Apocalypse or the world that got destroyed in that. So
I say 10 years have passed. Why would they? I know,
you still think because they're still talking about the event in New York in 6 years on in Marvel, the MCU.
Yeah.
You think they're still talking about how a whole country is gone. Then that was a big thing, and the X-Men are there to help, but people still fear them a bit. But it's not.
That was interesting. I mean, other things I loved about it. I didn't think I'd be a fan of their suits, but I thought their suits were actually pretty cool. It sort of worked a little bit.
They go down the old Grant Morrison new X-Men sort of
I do prefer the suits at the end of Apocalypse when they were in the danger room, because that sort of like showed these suits basically. Especially Nightcrawler's one. I thought Nightcrawler was awesome. I really, really loved how they used that when they were going to get Jean in the building, like the hotel, whatever they were in the hotel room, in the hallway, and they were using Kurt to teleport each of the X-Men around to stop. He was like, Kurt, I need to go here, and he was teleporting people around. I thought it was great. And I'm not too sure if I liked him going psycho at the end. I thought it was cool the way he was dumb, but the way he just, because one guy died, he went psycho and killed people.
I like that because it was the soldier was like, my kids used to be a fan of yours. And it's really personal for him. And then he's like, no, I'm going to save this guy and prove to him that we're the good guys. And he couldn't, and the guy died. And he was like, no.
I think he's one of those mutants that he looked different.
Yes.
So he always been afraid of humans, but then they accepted him, and then you just killed one of those guys.
I really enjoyed it.
And it kind of made him sort of go back to his nature of what his father was like. Yes. So you kind of saw that was
very true. Yeah.
But I mean, there was a lot of weird sort of choices in the plot.
I think I don't think you really need Magneto in it.
No, just because they've got Michael Fassbender, and why would
I get it. I didn't get Beast betraying the whole of the X-Men because Raven died. I didn't.
Well, let's talk about that because
that was spoiled in the trailer.
Now that death would have had a lot more impact if they hadn't given it off. fucking way in a trailer.
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
Because I was sitting there going, right, we know she's going to die. We know that's what's going to spark Jean and the rest of the X-Men off. So let's just get to this point already, and we get half an hour of, well, no, oh, it's going to happen. Oh, it's going to happen. Oh, it's happening.
Yeah, and again, having no film before it, like she's like trying to talk to Jean, going like, we're friends, Jean, we're like family. They never really spoke in Apocalypse, so it's like how we haven't seen it. We don't meant to assume.
Again, this is my running theory. You need at least 3 films to tell the Dark Phoenix saga well.
Yes. Yeah. Well, look at the 92 cartoon. They did like a 6-part cartoon just for the Phoenix, and then they did another 6-part, like a 5-part or 6-part later on, and like that next season to do the Dark Phoenix.
It's a good story in its own right. So why wouldn't you afford it the time it would take to tell that story right? I mean, we gave the MCU 10 years to get to Thanos.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they didn't have time. I mean, maybe they shouldn't have done Dark Phoenix. They should have done a different story.
Oh, yeah, but the trouble is now you can't really do the Dark Phoenix saga again now that they're under the MCU until much later down the line, because you want to give it time to pass out of memory before you try it again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's going to be interesting how they bring the X-Men into the MCU anyway. I'm still curious.
Kevin Feige's keeping stum about that, but
yeah, because they're going to have to. I would say they leave it a few years. Should be a shame, because I really like the guy who plays. I really like every bar Jennifer Lawrence. I think she sort of gave up after Days of Future Past.
Well, it's like
all the other characters I really like.
When she first started out in those films, she wasn't that well known, and then she got the Oscars and got all the recognition. And I don't want to say she kind of phoned it in because it doesn't feel honest to her performance, but she kind of maybe she was decided to get written out of this film because she wanted to be out of the franchise because she's got better things to do.
They could have written her out earlier on, to be honest. I mean, I didn't like her being the face of mutants and the one that everyone looks up to. That's not who Mystique is. Yeah. So it's a very strange thing to do. But
tell you, there's one thing that bugged me a little bit. Was the first one, First Class, is set in the 60s.
Yeah.
It's set in the 90s, 30 years later. Don't look any older.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
He's just bald.
Yeah, but lose your hair. But do you know what I mean? He should have looked a little bit older. Magneto. He should start having white hair. That kind of thing.
Just if they were going to,
it looked like it was the films within 5 years of each other.
The timeline's skewed enough that if they were going to try and merge that with the original X-Men, which they shouldn't do anyway, because the time, like, he should be looking like Patrick Stewart. But he's not. But he looks like he was.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, but we can talk about one positive aspect of the film we all, I think, agree on, which is the action for the fight scenes and
I really enjoyed the action. Like, I'd say when they were going for Jean in the hotel lobby or wherever it was, and like Magneto versus like Magneto and his little crew versus the X-Men.
We got 2 expendable, two brand new mutants from Magneto's team and the X-Men. I wonder who's going to die in the final fight.
But again, there's so many. I mean, I don't recognise them from the comics, but there's so many mutants you could have brought in to just be his little. Because I think that little like field that with the thing was meant to be like Genosha.
Yeah, I think that's the start of.
Like the start of Genosha. So he could have had so many mutants that aren't X-Men that could have been part of that.
Because if you'd given the film 3 films, you could have established Genosha, and you could have had the massacre as a result of Phoenix.
Yes.
Then we still have the Sentinel program deactivated, and then we just send them all out to go and take care of Genosha, and that would be a subplot leading into a new set of movies about Magneto.
One thing I'd love to have seen is, at the end of Apocalypse they suit up and then the Sentinels come out.
Yeah.
Is you see them training.
Yeah.
In the danger room.
Yeah.
But we didn't see that.
But I
enjoyed that. I loved Cyclops telling Magneto to fuck off, basically. Fucking touch her, I'll kill you. I was like, yeah, you will.
And using the reflection at the end to shoot.
Yeah, sure. That was fucking awesome.
It's like they've obviously realised that they can do a lot better with the way they film the powers in use, and they've done a really good job of this. So
even Storm was awesome.
I know the ending was reshot, and I don't know if that includes the train scene, but about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, the whole train
scene is phenomenally well shot, and it's because they're in one long corridor facing off against, it makes it easier to see what's going on. It's filmed in a way that you can easily tell who's where, and situational awareness that you don't get in some other fight scenes. It's on point, so you know exactly who's where, and the way they're using their powers in conjunction with each other finally works well.
I really enjoyed it.
Storm who's usually sidelined by doing 1 or 2 lightning bolts before getting taken out. She was wrecking it.
Like snow.
Cyclops his blast felt like they had impact. Yes. But previously, when you see someone get shot by it, it's like, ugh, but he was literally blowing people down the line.
That's one thing I always quote to people, like, Ross doesn't know exactly what I'm about to say now because I always quote over this. There's a comic book, I think it's Astonishing X-Men, where Cyclops is in it, and literally it's
gifted.
Is it gifted? It might be gifted, yeah.
It's one of the 2.
Gifted, but it shows how powerful Cyclops is. It's literally like a giant sentinel comes to the X-Mansion that to take it's like a
super one, isn't it?
Super one that comes on. It's like Wolverine's there. He's like, I can do this. And
he takes out all the X-Men.
Yeah, it's like I've had enough. He takes his visor off and just blows.
He goes, get out of the way, Logan. He goes, why? He goes, just get out of the way. And rips him off and just blows the whole of the front.
Yeah,
and
there's like 1 foot left, and then White Wolverine's like, oh god, I forgot how powerful sometimes you really are. And there's another point where the Blackbird crashes in this is it a spaceship or a base or something. And they can't get out, and Cyclops just blows the front of the ship open to like let everyone out.
That's what I wanted to happen in the train.
And it's fucking awesome.
I wanted it to get to the final carriage where Jean is, and everyone gets back, and Scott's like, "Come on, everyone get on this carriage!" Just blows the back of the whole of the whole of the train.
I mean, they also Magneto has been underused in these prequel movies.
Yes.
And they finally let him cut loose. So he's got all the guns on the train firing at the one villain, and then all of them are in a carriage coming towards him, and he just goes nope, and just crushes the carriage into a ball. And it's like that's what he should be doing with his powers. He's so powerful, and they barely use it. Yeah,
exactly. Even with I don't think they've ever used Xavier's powers to their full potential, really.
No, that did annoy me slightly when he's in that battle with other telepath outside of the mansion when they're trying to get Jean for the first time.
Yeah.
He's like, he's the most powerful telepath in the universe.
Yes.
And he's got one other slightly other telepath, and he's like, oh no, I've got to really focus on this. It's like, no, just knock her out and get
on. I did love the bit where they're in Genosha and Jean's trying to lift that, pull down that helicopter.
Oh, Magneto's trying to.
And Magneto's like straining beyond belief, and she's just like this. And he's just like, oh my god! That was so good, just to prove how powerful she actually was. The train scene. I say it's the Nightcrawler bit. You had Storm, you had everyone, and then it was just a bit, and then like Jean waking up at the end and sort of being like, I need to protect my family, and then it went really weird with her just disintegrating people. Yeah, and then she gets stabbed, and then reverses time.
What I heard was the original ending, whether the train scene was part of this or not, I don't know because it wasn't. So that's why they obviously reshot it. It was very similar to the way Captain Marvel ended.
Yeah,
in the Phoenix Jean would have gone to space to destroy the incoming alien fleet, and then been too powerful to be contained, and having said tearful goodbye to Scott and everyone, flew off into space to go and see if she can contain her powers. Which, if you think about how the Captain Marvel ended, that's pretty much the same way. So they obviously reshot a lot of that, and then they didn't after the train scene. They didn't really know what to do with it. So just disintegrate a few people.
The thing is as well, you can tell that the bit from in that hotel to the train is different.
Yeah.
Because she crushes Magneto's helmet on his head, rips it apart, and then stabs him with it.
Yeah.
And then he's fine on the train. And it's like they probably forgotten because it's months before they shot it. And it's just like, why are you not injured? You just had 4 things pierced into you, and he's like on the floor half dead.
Yeah, very true.
It's like, the ending was so weird.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Because it cuts. So
he beats his headmaster. They changed the name of school.
One thing I did like about his character, actually, his character arc in his films, is that he's always been transferring between the human and beast side of things. Yeah. And it looks like he's finally accepted the blue side of him as a result of Jennifer Lawrence. Raven dying, and he's like, right, no, I'm now the headmaster of the X Academy, so I'm going to be my mutant self. And he's come full circle with that because he was always. I think was it the second one?
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past, where he's flip flopping quite a bit and trying to find a cure at one point.
Yes.
And then he's obviously so that's one thing they did right with the character right there. But then obviously with the end of the film, Xavier's retired and he's now the headmaster. They renamed it to the Jean Grey School for the Gifted.
Yeah.
And then Xavier's off in Paris where he meets Magneto for a game of chess. But then you see the Phoenix Force flying in the background still, which it's just a very old way to end that.
It was.
Especially I know a lot of people's complaints are because then how does that follow on to X1?
Yeah.
It doesn't in any way.
They've already changed the timeline too much. X1, 2, and 3, and then the First Class series are 2 separate timelines now. They just completely bombed it. And the less said about Origins, the better.
Yes, but So I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. It could have been better. Don't get me wrong. It's not the best movie. It's not the best X-Men movie.
I always worry when I hear reshoots in films thing. But I mean, like you say, there was enough. That train scene alone was enough for me to go. They at least got that aspect.
I like the space bit at the beginning. I liked.
As well. The whole thing. If that was.
I really loved the mission at the beginning where they went into the Blackbird, flew up, and the way they got the.
But that was so weird because you've got Storm freezing it where there's no atmosphere. Actually getting that.
All right, fair point.
And then the bit that really confuses me is when Kurt and Peter go into it first. And it's got holes in it. How are you breathing? Then the second time, they're like, oh, yeah, you need a space helmet. Put a space helmet on it. Duct tape it up. Then him and Jean, who hasn't got a helmet on, both go in to a non-atmosphere ship. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, 2 seconds. I can explain that. First time round, they get there.
Yeah.
And Peter, within 2 seconds, grabs everyone, so they don't even have to breathe. He grabs everyone.
How is he? If they're floating, how has he got anything to purchase on to move himself forward?
That's a different question.
Physics, man. Physics.
Ross's question. Shut up. But he teleports in, and by the
Yeah,
time
but Kurt's still in there.
yeah, but he's still materialising, and so it's like 2 seconds of him grabbing everyone.
Yeah, but then he looks around, and then
He's holding their breath for 2 seconds, man. Jesus.
Not in the atmosphere, you blow up.
They're mutants. Fuck off.
No,
careful, guys. Again.
yeah, but why does Nightcrawler go in with a helmet and Jean doesn't?
She's got like put a shield around herself. I'm just guessing.
I was just like, you need a helmet. I put a helmet on. But then why has she not got a helmet on? It was just a bit. It was just so
anyway,
confusing to watch.
The science of this comic book film is completely ludicrous.
Exactly.
I enjoyed that bit, and I'd say I did the bit in the village. I don't know where it was really. The bit where Jean's dad was okay. It was
run downtown.
Yeah, that was okay.
But that
was very much like the third movie.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the things that annoyed me was they obviously ran out of time and they just went with they've repressed Xavier's repressed her again, which is what they did in the 3.
Yeah. Rather than trying to just help her deal with
trauma.
And
I don't like that, and it just seemed like they rushed that aspect into her development just to give her something that would distrust Xavier or cause her to go down this route. And it's like she needs to. If they're going to do Dark Phoenix, it needs to be 3 movies, and they need to develop that better. Yes,
agreed. Yes. I mean, it's the last one in the franchise. Not the best one. What's your favorite? What's your favorite X-Men movie?
Honestly, Logan. I'd have to say.
I would say Logan as well.
I mean, I don't know if you can count the if you were to take the Wolverine movies aside, I'd say X2 for me is one of my favourites.
Mine would be First Class.
Really?
I really like First Class.
I'll have to go back and watch that again.
I watched it in a while, so I quite X2 is always quite a favourite because of what it did. I've always liked Days of Future Past, the Rogue cut though.
I've not watched that. Now people tell me it's awesome.
Really good. The Rogue cut's cool.
I was hoping because Rogue and Gambit are my 2 favourite characters. Gambit never been in it really.
No.
And then Rogue, I was hoping that they'd captured her because she'd absorbed Miss Marvel's powers or whatever, and she becomes so strong that they either captured her because she's a threat or because they're trying to find out what powers her and copy it, because that's obviously what we were doing with Sentinels.
Yeah.
And when she came out, she didn't. I was hoping she'd be able to fly and stuff, and she didn't. She was exactly the same. I was a bit disappointed by that.
I think if we're including all the X-Men films, Logan's on top.
Logan's another level.
I saw the first trailer for that, which has a very sort of in the UK at least, it had Johnny Cash over the top of it, and it was amazingly set. And I was like, oh, this is different. Yes. And then when I went into that, I didn't really know what to expect going in. I was expecting a little bit more of a comic book movie, but no, the tone and the way it was shot and
it's amazing.
It was good. It was a genuinely good
masterpiece.
It was literally I was with it all the way. I loved everything. There was honestly, this is a 10 out of 10. And then as soon as she picked up the cross and turned it into an X, I was like, "This is fucking best movie I've ever seen."
Yeah. At the end, but, I mean, just the fact that you see claws going through people's faces.
Yeah.
But the story,
you could very much have ended the entire franchise on that, and it would have been.
They should have ended it on that because that's perfect.
Yeah, because he sort of started. It was like the first 3 X-Men films were really Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah, pretty much.
He was the main focus on all of them. But no, I mean that film. I don't know if because I'm a parent as well, it hit me hard. But also the biggest surprise of my life is when you see the cloned Wolverine kill Xavier and come down.
That's so
I did not even that wouldn't even never even cross my mind. And then you see he has to go up against that. That film is the only thing I would change out of that film is at the end is that the serum lasts long enough that he has one fight with the clone on equal standing. So he actually can go up against him, and then halfway through the fight, the serum wears off. That's the only thing I would change, because it would have been cool just to have one moment of Wolverine at full potential fighting himself.
But like you say, Ross, the cinematic...
we're sidetracking. Logan's awesome.
No, like Ross said, the cinematic part at the end of the film, just with her turning the cross for the grave.
As soon as she started to walk out, she's not going to pick it up and make it into a cross. And she did, and I just lost
but
it.
Because it fades out on an X, and that could have been... It's like it's symbolism of the X-Men franchise closing on that.
Yeah.
But okay... They're in
the post-credit scene should have been Deadpool sitting there.
The First Class quadrilogy it's popcorn movie fodder, and there's some good stuff in there and there's some bad stuff in there, but it's not the greatest movie in the world. Dark Phoenix, it's problematic.
I'm intrigued to see what the MCU.
I'm looking more forward to what Marvel Studios do with the X-Men.
Yeah,
and see what characters they bring. I mean, a great way to do it would be to bring Gambit in. They've never done Gambit, so rather than bringing in Cyclops and Wolverine and Jean and Xavier, I mean, they're going to have to be in it, but maybe do it from Gambit's point of view.
Yeah.
and bring him into.
You'd have to start with some new characters or newer characters.
Yes,
because you've obviously played out most of the popular ones. So
exactly, yeah. Or even Jubilee, like do like the 92 animated movie, animated series.
Can we have a more useful character?
Yeah, I mean she's I mean they didn't do a lot with her in the cartoon.
Well, originally they did it with Kitty Pryde.
Yeah,
the first episode, then they redid it.
True, yeah.
So, but they kind of did that with Rogue in X1.
Yes,
didn't they?
Yeah.
Her and Wolverine kind of started and joined.
Yeah, exactly. So but stuff like it'd be an interesting way to go. But especially Gambit's such a popular character, you would think maybe the X-Men have to try and stop him because he's doing something bad. He joins them, and then
until Wolverine Origins, he was slated to have his own Origins movie.
Yes,
which is why they had who was playing him in that?
Channing Tatum. I guess that's dead in the water now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been dead for a long time. But the whole Origins series died with Wolverine.
I'm kind of glad they didn't do it because then
they need to do it properly.
Yeah, and I think that's why Tom Holland's Spider-Man, maybe the Homecoming could have been better if there wasn't two before it, because they're like, we can't do the origin.
Yeah.
It's like we have to do something new just because it's got to be new.
Slight spoiler warning. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. Obviously, in the trailers we've seen and reacted to on our channel. Come check them out. For the Spider-Man Far From Home, which is out in about a month now.
Yeah.
Mysterio keeps saying he's from another dimension.
Yes.
Or another parallel world. So I'm going to be paying close attention to that to see if that's how they're going to try and bring the X-Men into this universe.
And the Fantastic Four. It makes sense because if they don't, then why the hell is the Fantastic Four not helping in X-Men in Avengers 1? It's like, York's under attack. Well, we're just going to chill out, boys.
Unless their origins do start after the Avengers.
Well, maybe, maybe. But yeah, but
it could be. They could retcon it like Doctor Strange did, where it's it cut back to the battle for Earth at the end of Endgame, and something Thanos has done in the atmosphere has caused the cosmic radiation, and the astronauts up there happened to be the Fantastic Four, maybe, and then cut forward a few years where they've been establishing themselves, and obviously we have Tony and Cap in the universe to hold it all together. And
I'd love to see a good Fantastic Four movie, man.
Yeah. I'd love to see a good Fantastic Four movie as well, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I mean, I don't mind the older two with like.
I want Fantastic Four because Doctor Doom is the best villain the Marvel have. I love Doctor Doom.
Yes, and have a Super Scrolls as well.
Yeah. Then you end up with Galactus in 30 movies time.
Amazing.
The Heralds coming in. Oh, amazing.
It'll be great. Yeah. And then just bring the X-Men in somehow as well. It'll be great.
I don't know.
Anyway, so that's
our review.
Yeah,
so
our rambling thoughts.
No structure whatsoever. So Final Thoughts is I like it. It's not the worst movie. It's not the best movie. I will buy it on Blu-ray and I'll watch it again.
I hope on the Blu-ray they have the space scene to show you what the final act was.
The one they reshot.
Yeah. Just to see what it was.
For me, it's enjoyable, but I'm not going to pay to watch it again.
No, I'll wait. Yeah, exactly. Wait for it to come out. Yeah. So, guys, that was our review of X-Men Dark Phoenix. What do you think about it? Come below, let us know. Do you think it's as bad as the reviews and the critics are saying, or did you actually enjoy the film? And what did you like about it? What do you think is going to happen when they come into the MCU? What do you want to happen? Love to know your thoughts, guys. Comment below, let us know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We also have a Patreon set up to support, and we have a tier 2 now for full reactions that we do on TV shows. Come and follow us on there. And we have a Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. Come and follow us on there, all things superheroes. And we do podcasts and blogs as well, so come and follow us on there. And we will see you for another review and more reactions.